For more on this, Sven is a global policy lead on climate change at the humanitarian agency CARE International, and he joins us now from Bonn in Germany. Good to have you on the show, Sven. Now tell us, this is now the fourth such march. Just how significant are these marches?
I think it's really great to see so many people going out to the streets and protesting for more ambitious climate action. And I think it's a pattern that we see in more and more countries. There have been protests in France recently. Last week, thousands of students went on the streets in Berlin, for example. And I think people increasingly recognize that we're in the middle of a very severe climate crisis, that the impacts are hitting ever harder, while the shift away from fossil fuels to renewable energies is not running quick enough, neither in Europe nor in many other places in the world. So I think it's really important to see all these voices from the streets, from various parts of society, to really push decision makers and governments for more ambitious climate change action.
And are they working, Sven? Is the government listening? And just last month we had COP, I can't remember if it was 24, 25 in Poland. Are they bearing fruit, or are they just places to talk policy?
No, I mean, I think, and I've also been part of the COP in Poland recently. I think there are some steps forward in certain policy areas and the national negotiations, but it's clear that the steps are by far not big enough, and we're more and more running out of time, and more and more people say this can't go on like this, because it's really, we are the last generation which can fix that problem, basically, and for that we need much quicker action, both in terms of cutting emissions by shifting away from fossil fuels to renewables, but we also need to see much more support and investments for, in particular, protecting poor and vulnerable people across this planet from climate impacts. CARE is also working in a lot of poor countries, and we see, for example, increasing issues and problems with food insecurity due to droughts, for example, in Southern Africa. The next El Nino phenomenon might cause more trouble, and we really need to see much more attention to the challenges for smallholder farmers, for particular poor women, and all this has to be part of a much bigger answer now to tackle climate change.
And just how significant would you say is it to see school children protesting? We saw that happen in Brussels and, as you mentioned, in Berlin, students recently.
I think it's a really powerful voice, and we haven't seen this at the same scale many years before, and I think it really makes clear the message the decision makers of today, not only the adults, I mean everyone, like me, like you, everyone, we need to get our act together, otherwise the future of our children is really at stake, and it's very important that they lift their voices and yeah, really push for much more action. I think it's pretty significant, and I'm sure we will see much more of this in the next weeks and months to come.
Sven, thank you very much indeed for joining us here on TRT World. That was Sven harmeling from CARE International. Thank you.